Hands down, the best part of a romance bookstore is the romance booksellers. They bring all of the joy, positive energy, and great book recommendations to the space. I'm Haley, your bookish travel gal, and this year I've been visiting as many romance bookstores as I can. Along the way, I've been interviewing some fantastic romance booksellers. So without further ado, let's go meet them.
Hi, I'm Chai. I work down here at Smitten in Ventura.
Hi, I'm Sarah Borgnis-Tobin. I am one co-owner of Montgomery and Taggert Bookshop.
Hi, I'm Nicole, and I work at In Bloom Bookery in Temecula, California.
Hi, I'm Frank, and I'm a bookseller here at Heartbound.
Hi, I'm Sarah Maxwell, founder of Saucy Books.
Hello, my name is Yasmin Rodriguez, and I'm the manager over at Romantasy Bookstore.
I am Kimball Duffin, and I work at Lovebound Library.
Hi, I'm Sarah. And I'm Jamie. And we're from Kiss and Tale, a romance bookshop.
Hi, I am Hannah. I work at Meet Cute Romance Bookshop in San Diego, California, and I am the event coordinator and bookseller here.
I am so in love with the romance community, the authors, the readers, the way we come together to support each other, the way the genre has grown over the past maybe 2 decades to become inclusive, diverse, representative, really including so many subgenres.
I just love the ability to connect, and I find that with romance books you get to learn through other people's relationships, their trials and tribulations, and at the end of the day, like we want human connection and love. So what could be more human than romance?
There's a happy ending in the end is the book for me. I feel like I was always searching for that before I even really found romance as a genre. And then the more that I've read romance, I was like, this is the vibe for sure.
So for me, I used to read romance a lot as a teenager. And then somewhere in my mid-20s, I totally got brainwashed by the hustle culture and reading personal development, to the point where I kind of stopped reading because they all really bummed me out. So then I picked up Carrie Winfrey's Waiting for Tom Hanks because I'm a rom-com girly. And I was like, oh yeah, reading can be so much fun. And it really just brought me back to the genre.
The Isle in the Silver Sea by Tasha Suri. It's something I can't stop reading.
If I had to pick one, oh gosh, the books by Kennedy Ryan are incredible, emotional, powerful, moving, sexy.
It so depends on the genre and what that person might be interested in reading. But my favorite one to try to get people to read is probably When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I love that series. I just think it's a great one. So relatable. Came out, I finished it in one night. I was very sad when it was over.
A book that I will not shut up about, will not stop recommending, is Zodiac Academy.
My favorite book to recommend is Silver Elite. I love a dystopian romance, and I love the pacing, and I love the banter, and there's a really sexy outdoor shower scene. And it's going to be a trilogy. So that's my favorite one to recommend.
At the moment, my favorite book to recommend would definitely be Lights Out by Navessa Allen. I know with Game On just coming out, that definitely gets the hype right now too, but Lights Out will always be my number one. Dark but funny. It's definitely a dark rom-com that I will always recommend because it's hilarious.
I am a historical romance girly at heart. And my personal favorite is the Queen, Loretta Chase. And I always recommend Lord of Scoundrels. It's an old school, but it's a goodie.
Okay, I will say, I think Heated Rivalry is so good to get people into one hockey romance. It's not just sports romance, it's so much more than that. And also getting people into reading more queer romance, romance, Heated Rivalry is such a good one.
Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. It was the thing that got me back into reading after a big slump.
I think I'm going to say A Hunger Like No Other by Cressley Cole. I learned about that book on the Fated Mates podcast, and it was everything they promised it would be.
I would say for little me, The Hunger Games, just because that was a book that, like many people, made me really fall in love with reading. But recently, maybe Binding 13. I really was obsessed with that one, but just because I'm so attached to the characters now, it's ridiculous.
Definitely Song of Achilles. I've listened to it. I've read it. I somehow sob even harder when I listen to it, but I wish I could read that book all over again.
It's one that I read recently. I would definitely want to read First Time Caller by B.K. Borson again. That was just such a sweet, like funny, but also just so down-to-earth story that just made you feel like it could happen to anybody. Like, it felt very real, and like you connect with the story, and it just made you fall in love with it, and just so cozy, and I just loved everything about it.
The whole Windy City series by Liz Tomforty, she has a great like sports series, and it follows a whole group of friends, and each book just builds on itself, and I wish that I could go back and just like experience like getting to know all those characters again. It was a blast.
I definitely wish I could go back and reread Good Spirits by B.K. Borson for the first time again. It was one of those books that changed my life. Harriet became my personality for a while, still is if I'm being honest, and I don't normally reread books. I'm not a huge rereader, and that book has only been out since October, and I've already read it 4 times. So I definitely wish I could reread that for the first time, because the journey that you go on with Harriet and Nolan is unlike anything I've read, and I loved it.
The book that I would read again for the first time is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sungu Mandana. It is like wrapping yourself in a warm hug. It is the most coziest, slow burn romance. It's between a witch and a librarian, and it's a really good story of found family.
You know what? If I could pick one book universe to live in, I'm going to go back to Sarah Beth Durst at the Spell Shop, because even if cozy fantasy isn't your jam, it's a place I think we'd all like to be.
The Arcana Academy universe, that was the book last year that caused like the most deep, intense reading slump, like book hangover. I just was so devastated. Like I could live in that book. Yeah.
Oh, Terrason. I think Throne of Glass is like my favorite series, and I would love to be in that universe. Yeah.
I'm going to have to say Fourth Wing, not because of the war, but because I really just want to hang out with Riddick. I think he'd be fun to hang out with, and I just want to be best friends with him, and also pet dragons and hang out with dragons all day. So
Well, this one's going to be a little bit wild, but I would love to live in Kimberly Lemming's Merry Mead world. That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. That whole series is so fun, and I really just want to be friends with Cinnamon and Bree and find myself a nice shadow daddy to take care of me, truly, and just eat cheese and spices all the time.
If I could choose to live in a book universe, strange enough, I would choose contemporary, because I think I just want like a more idealized version of our worlds, but like make it cute and like European vacation. So that would be The Pairing by Casey McQuiston, specifically also because I am obsessed with Kit and Theo, and I would love to live in a world where they exist. And if you know the end, I specifically like want to be in that world. I want to be near what's going on. So, just read it and you'll know.
I wonder if this is considered a micro trope, but I just love Lady Nights. It's a really big hit for me.
An underappreciated micro trope, I think Touch Him and Die, maybe? A little representation for the ladies who are a little obsessive.
Well, I think age gap. Say you're into daddies without saying you're into daddies.
I love when like a morally gray character like takes care of the FMC. So like when they're like tending their wounds or like cleaning them or stitching them, like that to me is like so sexy, and I want to see more of that.
I would say when there's like the FMC, the MMC, and the FMC has a pet that like hates everyone else, and then the MMC comes in, or like the FMC, whoever they're with, come in, and then that pet is like obsessed with them, and you're like, you're a keeper. If the cat likes you, you're a keeper. That's a good one.
I think I'm gonna go time travel, time loops, time slip. I love when the element, like the villain in the story is like something otherworldly. Like it's not like there's not a villain in the story. It's that like time is not on their side, and I really like when that happens, because I just think it makes for a really interesting story.
again, historical girly at heart. So I'm going to have to go with like when in like a Regency or like Victorian time period where they have to take the glove off and then like they touch hands for the first time. That I eat it up every time. It gets me every time. It's so good.
Or when they see an ankle.
Yeah. Ooh, an ankle. Or when in a Regency when the girl has to wear breeches and he's like the guy cannot handle it and he's like sees her in pants and just loses his mind. Oh yeah.
My favorite micro trope is when one of the love interests is like some kind of artist or dabbling in some kind of art, and they paint, draw, or sculpt their love interest like a muse. My favorite thing in the world. It's so, so good.
I think there's going to be a big rise of paranormal romance again. I've noticed a big uptick, and I think it's just going to keep going.
Trope trends for 2026, I think we're going to see a lot more gay and queer romance in the public sphere. In the popular, we're going to see a lot more movie deals. We're going to see a lot more TV deals. Thank you, Heated Rivalry. Thank you, Rachel Reed. Thank you, Canada. Right? So we've been here all along. We're just so glad everyone's joining us for the party.
Oh, dystopian, I think, is having its comeback as well. So like science fiction, dystopian, and medieval knights, I feel like are having their moment again.
I think we're having a lot more vampire werewolf stuff come back. So as a former Twilight girly, or I should say not former, current, I'm here for this.
I'm seeing two. I'm seeing like more crossover between mystery thriller and romance, which is pretty fun. And then also some more like magical realism where either like the main character gets lost into a book and is like a fictional character, or a main character becomes like alive in the real world. So a little bit of that sort of crossover between fictional characters and like real life.
I feel like Why Choose is definitely one that's getting more appreciated. So I feel like the more the year goes on, you see more Why Chooses and you're like, I need that.
I'll actually say video games. Anything that is like with Dungeon Crawler Carl, with Two Can Play, with Ali Hazelwood, like people are just loving anything that's like video game-ish right now. I'm seeing a lot of those come out. So, or also like board games, Dungeons and Dragons, that's a huge thing in the romance genre right now. So anything game-ish would be my guess.
Not necessarily like tropes, but more like time periods. Like I feel like we've had our medieval knight era, and I feel like we're probably going to move on to like, I feel like I've been hearing a lot about like Art Nouveau, like Victorian, like that might be like the next thing we're getting into.
My favorite part of owning and co-owning a romance bookstore is absolutely the people, and what a joy the authors are to work with. They are so supportive, collaborating with authors, representing indie authors when we can, collaborating with our local business friends to just bring this joyful genre to the community. One of the most challenging things is just not having all the time that I wish I did to devote to the events we want to have, and not enough shelves to put every single book we love on them. But we have goals for the future, and we'll just do the best we can.
Favorite part is probably the community that gathers here. Every day being at the store, there's familiar faces that come in, getting to talk about books all day long. We host a lot of events and have quite a few different book clubs as well. So getting to connect with those people on a consistent basis, and they're just all wonderfully kind and are passionate about romance. That's probably my favorite part. I would say my least favorite part is my TBR has gotten way too long. And there's not enough time in the day to read all the books that I want to read.
Favorite part is talking to customers and readers about romance books all day long. I love it. It's so much fun. Least favorite part is probably breaking down boxes because we get a lot of cardboard and that's really annoying.
I would definitely say my favorite part is just being around books every single day. I feel like I want to buy a new one every day, which I sometimes do. My least favorite part is probably also working here because I just want to sit and read. I have work to do, but I'm like, I want to read this book. I want to read this book. I'm like stocking the shelves and I'm like, ooh, I need to read this. I take a picture of it and I'm like, I'm going to buy this later.
I can tell you my least favorite part is all the emails. Did not know that working at a bookstore was going to be answering emails all day. So that's kind of a bummer. But the best part for me is being able, like the people that we have met, whether it's customers in the store, whether it's authors coming in, people you work with, like the community as a whole is amazing and very, no one comes to the bookstore in a bad mood, and if they do, their mood is lifted because you're surrounded by love stories. And so definitely the people.
Oh gosh. Least favorite is how many people come in and go, so it's just romance? And then you have to be like, yeah, but there's like different types of romance. I give that pitch several times a day. And that's fine. I'm so happy to share romance with the world, but it does get tiring. And the best part, I think, is that there's truly so many incredible people in this community, just from like the people who shop at our store, the authors we get to meet, people online. I think like Book Talk has become such a good example of that. But I really love here at the local store, like how much our community is involved in book clubs and events. Like we always just know that we have a crew that's going to show up, and I see the same faces every time. And it's really good nowadays to just have those like third spaces where everyone can be communicating and enjoying the same hobbies that we have. It's really lovely.
Thanks so much for watching. This video was a blast to put together. I love meeting new people, and I especially love talking about books. So if you like what you see, make sure you subscribe for more romance bookseller interviews, bookish travel, New York City neighborhood guides, and so much more. Thanks for watching, and happy book hunting!